Guys, I usually don't make videos like this on my channel, and I kind of don't know where to start with it, so I'm kind of going to be winging it, but one of my favourite series has been affected by something over the past few days, and I feel the need to make a video about it and put out there what I believe, and that is the Onimusha 2 has been censored in its most recent release that's coming in the next week or so. And I'm just going to talk about it for a little bit and explain why I think it's absolutely ridiculous that Capcom felt the need to do this to a 23-year-old game. Now, I might get some comments from people in the video who maybe seen my last video about Onimusha 2 Remaster that I made where, I talked about the fact that I feel like it's the weakest Onimusha in the franchise, which is the mainstream opinion that the game's the best one in the series, and I don't personally believe that. I've played the games for 20 plus years. I came to my own conclusions over the years, which ones I feel are the best, and it doesn't matter if I feel like Onimusha 2 is the worst one of the franchise or anything, I'm still going to defend the game because I'm a huge fan of the series, and just because I think it's maybe the worst one doesn't mean that I don't still enjoy the game, which people seem to misinterpret on the last video I made anyway. Now, if nobody's aware over the past few days, maybe you don't care about Onimusha Remaster, nonetheless, it seems that one of the costumes in the game is getting censored for the modern release. OU has a special costume in Onimusha 2 which has been censored. Why? I don't know. All I can assume is it's for the modern audience and the way people think in this day and age who are kind of scared of women's cleavage and stuff like that. Don't want to degrade women and things like that, that's making its way into video games in this day and age. And, I usually don't talk about stuff like this, but I feel like I kind of do have to speak up for it a wee bit. I have to ask people in their right mind, with this picture here, do you genuinely feel offended by the version on the left from 2002 as opposed to the one in 2025? I mean, to me, this has just got to be one of the most pettiest things I think I've ever seen for a video game change for its remaster. Not only that's been censored, the next couple of days more things came out, the intro video that has OU standing under a waterfall showering has also been altered because before she was showing a lot of back skin, we gotta be afraid of back skin around here, and this slight minor bit of side boobage, how it was back in the day, we were all so DJing. But yeah, just look at how it's been changed with a nice huge bit of steam covering up every piece of back skin you can imagine, Guys, I just gotta call it the way it is. This is absolutely outstanding. I mean, this is only on the screen for a second and a half, and I honestly just cannot even believe that Capcom felt the need to do this as well. Crazy, isn't it? I'll tell you what it is for me though, I'm more concerned if they're actually going to remove OU's idol pose here. Just check that ass shaking, I mean, we'll not be able to find out until the final release of something like this is actually being removed from the game. Tell me what you think about it, are you absolutely offended by that ass? I'm loving it. As far as people on the internet are saying, no, a vast majority of them are turning around saying it's no big deal that stuff like this has been changed, and, they're sorry that there's no any more material for us to be gooning over for the Onimusha 2 remaster, or, maybe we should go out and touch more grass, visit more porn websites, or just speak to more women directly, Now, I'm not going to speak for people who are in their 30s or 20s who are still a virgin. I can't speak for them personally, but what I can speak for is people with a sane mind who actually don't get offended by the slight bit of belly skin, back skin, or a little bit of side boob that doesn't really offend anybody who has a normal brain as far as I'm concerned. I don't appreciate that Capcom have felt the need to change this for one of my favourite franchises of 20 plus years old. I'm almost certain, and I mean certain, that if they did not change this, nobody would have brought up anything to do with this game having anything that felt like it was needing censored or anything. I personally feel like Capcom are so petty in this situation that they have done this on purpose in some way, because they actually know that Onimusha 2 is probably not really going to sell that well anyway. It's a 23-year-old game for a really old franchise. Yes, we're getting a new game in 2026, but Onimusha 1 Warlords took years and years to sell relatively well, and I'm one of the people that bought it multiple times for friends on my friends lists, just so we could get future remasters of the other games, and I never even thought it would be possible that Capcom would alter a newer release of Onimusha 2. So I, for one, am just really upset that they have felt the need to do this, probably for the sake of people that were not going to buy the game in the first place. But like I say, I think they've done it for a bit of free marketing and to create some controversy around the game so that they can possibly sell more copies of the game, because so many people are going around like bringing up this censorship that any marketing is good marketing if it's like free, you know, whether it's bad or good, whatever it is. And I personally believe there is a little bit of that going on here. It's just unfortunate that Onimusha 2 is the thing that's being taken advantage of here, because I firmly believe that nothing really needed change for this game at all, and I don't think anybody would have complained. Now, there is a part of me that just feels like, really, is this the same company that are doing this that made games like Street Fighter 6? Now, I love Street Fighter 6. I'm really happy that they've done certain stuff in that game and not felt the need to censor certain aspects of it for a modern audience or whatever. Because if you actually like take a look at Cammy here, I'm going to put some specific screenshots on the screen. I'm also going to put our win pose on the screen. I'm also going to put Mai on the screen here and show you stuff like her idle animation. And if you guys can honestly tell me that this is the same company that have allowed this in Street Fighter 6, which I don't have an issue with, I don't think many people do, but if you can tell me that's the same company who have felt the need to leave stuff like this in Street Fighter 6, and look at Mai's ridiculous side boob she's got going on, she's literally jumping up and down with her boobs shaking. They've felt the need to like leave all this in Street Fighter 6, a modern game right now out there selling well, and they've felt the need to censor Onimusha 2, something as silly as this. PS2 level graphics being censored with a black bar. Like, ask yourselves in your right mind, do you honestly think this is the same people that are doing this? There's got to be like a serious lack of communication going on in Capcom right now. If people are okay with leaving Street Fighter 6 the way it is, and I'm glad they do, like I say, I don't want them censoring stuff like that either, but there has to be something seriously wrong where they're letting that happen in Street Fighter 6. And this game, Street Fighter 6 over here in the UK, is for ages 12 and up. It's not even a mature rated game and it's got stuff like this in it. Onimusha 2 is a mature rated game and they're censoring PS2 level graphics of belly skin here. I mean, just ask yourselves if you think that's right. Just think about it, because I, for one, am pretty unhappy about the situation with Onimusha 2, and it honestly makes me wonder, if we get Onimusha 3 down the line, just imagine what they're going to do to Michelle's towel costume here. Do you think they'll actually just delete this entirely? Well, only time will be a factor if we even get an Onimusha 3 remaster. We'll see what they do here. Maybe they'll just put a bunch of like black bars all over her skin, you know, and just... Or maybe they'll like double the length of the robe, who knows, I don't know. But it's got to be something ridiculous if they have stooped to the levels that they've stooped to here for Onimusha 2. It'd be nice to hear what people think about the situation. I'm pretty upset about it, but I know there's a bunch of people out there who are completely supporting the censorship of this game here, and they're not letting it get in the way of their enjoyment of the game. And I don't think it should get in the way of people's enjoyment of the game. You know, at the end of the day, the game's not been fundamentally changed from a gameplay standpoint, but I do think that if you're one of these people that say stuff like, oh, it's so minor, what's the big deal anyway, that's exactly what I would counteract with. I would say, like, it's such a small thing, was it really needed to be changed? And that's the reason why I do think it's a strategic thing from Capcom here to create some free marketing, and unfortunately Onimusha 2 has paid the price of having its original vision changed. And yes, it is the original vision of the game that has been changed. Be nice to hear what people think. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Do you guys ever think we'll get a Clock Tower 3 remaster? She's literally one step away from barking like a dog.